Pixar's back with its follow-up to one of the best animated movies of all time, The Incredibles.
What's in the box?
Hello, beautiful.
What's up, everybody? Thanks again for tuning into my station and hanging with Ball. I definitely appreciate it. So The Incredibles 2 is here, folks, and I had an excellent time. Starting off with Toy Story in November of '95. Pixar made one of the best animated films of all time, starting with Pixar, and they've made numerous films leading up to this point. They've actually made 20. The Incredibles 2 is the 20th film in the Pixar canon. Directed by Brad Bird. Brad Bird is a Hollywood director who's been in the game for a long time. He's done live action, he's done animation. Some of the live action he's done is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, as you see right here. But his best work is definitely when it comes to his animated features. You guys know him for The Iron Giant, Ratatouille, and of course he also wrote and directed the original Incredibles. So Brad has a really good handle on when it comes to animation and how to deliver a message as a whole and deliver a theme that is plausible for everybody at the end of the film. So what he does very well is he picks up very good with the story that happened 14 years ago. It feels as if we saw this film a year ago and these characters are still fresh in our mind. What they're doing is the Parr family still living by the code that they feel that superheroes are in need to save the world and to do what they want to do. They want to be superheroes. They want to do what they feel like they should do for justice. But the government says no. Superheroes are illegal. So they walk a thin line between what's right and what's wrong. Sorry, I stumbled a little bit. But anyway, after that, Helen, the mom, Elastigirl, gets an offer from a secret agency to where she can wear a camera in her suit to show the world that superheroes can be good. They can be used for good, and hopefully the government will change its look on how superheroes should be handled as a whole. Now, when she has to leave to do her other jobs, that leaves Mr. Incredible home to fend for himself. It leaves him with all the family, and he's never taken care of his family without the help of Elastigirl before, which is awesome. I mean, Violet and the kid, the speedster, I don't know why I can't think of his name, Dash, they're cool. They don't get into a whole lot of mischief, but who gets into the biggest mischief is Jack and the little baby. This is easily the best part of the film. The first half of the film is easily the best part of the film. And it's very, very relatable to me. I love this part because Jake is now 2, and I've been there before with Mr. Incredible. I know what he's gone through. It was hilarious. Some of the best material in the film is those scenes when he's at home, kind of a fish out of water, taking care of his family that he's never done before. And also, this is the first time that I actually took Jake to a movie. He was actually in the theater himself this time. He loved it. He was engaged about halfway, then we had to get us some popcorn, but he was cool. So 2 years old, Jake's finally saw his first movie, which is, no pun intended, incredible. So that was awesome. And then the second half of the movie happens, and that's where it kind of falls apart. It doesn't fall apart, but that's where it feels like it should have been more incredible. It's just really, really, really predictable. And then the plot goes to being completely in a place to where you know what's going to happen by the end of the film. And also, when the villain shows its face on the screen, you know right then and there that, oh, okay, I see where they're going with this. So it's a very predictable plot. And also the villain doesn't even hold a candle to Syndrome, the villain that was in the first Incredibles, which had a lot better motive and just a lot better presence on the screen. He was more sinister. He felt like a better villain, for sure, hands down. But like I said, that doesn't mean that this wasn't a fun film. This was an extremely fun film. Some great music, some great animation, and the whole overall message to everybody, is that you don't have to have superpowers to be super. Being a father or being a mother is a heroic act in itself. So that's a great message. And also being true to who you are is a very, very important message that The Incredibles 2 is trying to portray. And it does at the end. I just wish that the villain and the plot were less predictable because everything else was really, really good. The pros, action, the powers that Elastigirl has would make Mr. Fantastic just go, whoa, I wish I could do that. Some amazing stuff that you think that the directors put into the film that you wouldn't think a person with the powers just to, with rubber arms could do some of the stuff that she does. And it's amazing. It's practical. You're not like, oh, that wouldn't happen. No, it feels real. Also, there's a character called Void, and she has the power to, if you guys have played the game Portal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She can create portals in thin air, and some of the stuff the directors and the cinematographers do with that is amazing. Seriously amazing. And then also, there's a lot more Frozone, so there's a lot more ice powers. You just don't see him freezing stuff. That's what's really cool about this movie is the powers that these superheroes put on screen, they're just not one note. There's all kinds of stuff with electricity, the void powers, the freeze, the water, the fire, the lasers. It's all there to be on full display for our eyes to catch, and that's one of the best things about the movie. Also, the lighting and the sound design. The sound design is kind of like retro 60s Batman. A lot of trumpets, a lot of horns. It was very spyish, very cool. And there's a standalone scene that's easily the best scene in the movie, and that has to do with Jack and a raccoon and how they try to communicate and get along with one another. It's hilarious. Big time hilarious. Cons. Now, it wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. I wish it could have been a little more funnier. But it definitely had its moments. And by the end of the movie, there's just too many characters on screen, and you lose fact that we should just be focusing on the Parr family, and there's just too many characters involved. And also, the plot is very predictable, and the villain is not a good villain. But other than that, the powers, the animation is fantastic. There's a part where the family's sitting at a table, and I know this is going to sound stupid. You guys are like, what are you looking at this for? But the ice in the glasses look seriously like the ice that I had in my glass when I was eating my pizza after I got out of the movie. The animation is truly incredible, and the action scenes are very cool. Like I said, I took my kid. He's 2 years old. There's an action scene involving a train and a motorcycle, and the motorcycle splits in two, and some of the stuff that's on screen right there, Jake was watching it for at least 15 minutes straight, didn't take his eyes off it, if that tells you anything, a 2-year-old. So I'm going to go ahead and give Incredibles 2 an 8 out of 10, an 8 balls out of 10. It would have been better if the villain would have been better and the plot wasn't as predictable. But it's a very fun movie to go see with your family on Father's Day. Has a lot of good core values, and you don't have to have superpowers to be a super person. A good mother and a good father is a heroic act in itself. So, excellent message. I just wish some of the main plot stuff could have been picked up a little bit. But, well, it is what it is. So, 8 out of 10 balls. You guys, thank you very much for hanging with Ball. If you like what you heard or love what you see, of course, subscribe. It's free. And thank you guys very much. Have a great night. Bye-bye.